Hello everyone, this is Dude Blender, and this week we're celebrating our first 1,000 subs. And I just want to thank everyone that watches, comments, and enjoys the content. A big shout out to everyone that has believed in the channel from the beginning. Your comments are very much appreciated, so thank you. Now let's jump right in. Tip number 1, enable autosave. Blender crashes, lights go out, doggos trip over power cables, and if any of that happens, autosave has got your back. Many users know that the blend1 file that appears in your folder is a backup of your manual saves, and that the recover last session option opens Blender however you left it the last time you closed it on purpose. But if anything crashes, you can always pull out your autosave file and save yourself probably hours of time. If you go to Edit, Preferences, Save and Load, you can turn it on by clicking on the checkbox and specify the time in minutes between saves. The files are saved in the temporary files folder that you can find in the File Paths menu. You can select a location where you want the files to be stored. If you leave it blank, it will default to the temporary folder of your computer, which in Windows you can find by pressing Window R and typing %temp%. Click on OK and it will open the folder. In Mac, you can open the terminal and type open $TMPDIR. That's case sensitive and it will open the folder. The files will be stored with the name of the original file, a random number, and autosave. Just find the most recent one and you're very welcome. Tip number 2, enable the node Wrangler. At this point it's almost a meme that it's not on by default, since literally everyone uses it, so let's turn it on. Go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, and search for WRAN. Check the box if it's not already on, and note that you will always have access to the documentation here. This unlocks powerful shortcuts when you're working with nodes. You can bring them up with Shift-W, but the three that you'll use the most are Control-Shift-Left-click to connect that node to the output node to quickly visualize each part of your material setup. It also adds a material output node if there is none. Control-T creates a texture coordinate and mapping nodes if you have the texture node selected. And Control-Shift right-click and drag between two shaders will connect them to a mixed shader node. And of course there are similar shortcuts to use in the geometry nodes environment. Tip number 3, use quick favorites. Depending on what you specialize on and your style, you'll find yourself using the same tools over and over again. Many have direct keyboard shortcuts, but some don't, and you have to find them in the menus, or it just might be too much stuff to memorize. Here's where quick favorites can help. If you want to add a tool, find it on its menu or on the search with F3. Right-click on it and add to quick favorites. You can even add menus here. To pull them up, just press Q and all your favorite tools will be right there. It's worth mentioning that it's a smart menu. So for example, I added the subdivide tool, but it's not here, and the reason is that that tool cannot be used here. But if I go into edit mode and select an edge and then press Q, I can see the subdivide menu, but now I cannot see the mesh menu as this is not the right context for that. Note that some add-ons, such as the very popular hard ops, use Q as a shortcut. If that happens, you'll still be able to access the quick favorites at the end of the menu. Tip number 4, customize your viewport. If you go to Edit, Preferences, Themes, 3D Viewport, you can change quite a few things to your liking. To me, the most interesting are the colors of the selected and active objects, the color of the lights, especially useful when going to render view and turning the world lights off when lighting your scene, the colors of the vertices, and all the way to the bottom, the size of the edges, vertices, and object origin. Before revealing the number 5, a bonus tip is to subscribe to the channel. We're posting new content every week about all sorts of things: shading, geometry nodes, VFX, animation, tips and tricks, and all things Blender, so click or tap on that subscribe button so that you don't miss a thing. And tip number 5, create your asset libraries. I'll just brush on this now, but this video goes into more detail if you want to check it out. Link is in the description and in the cards at the end of the video. Libraries are awesome. You can just drag and drop your models or materials to the scene. It's a must for ArcViz, but very useful for everyone, and you love seeing all of your models in the same place reminding you of where you started and how good you're getting. In Edit, Preferences, File Paths, all the way down you'll see the Asset Libraries panel. Here you can create as many asset libraries as you want and select the locations for each of them. The files in those locations will be searched for assets. To mark an asset in the outliner, right-click on it and mark as Asset. Then on an Asset Browser window, you can create and manage catalogs to organize your assets. This way you'll be able to access those models and materials from any file just by selecting the library from this menu. If you want to know more about asset libraries, click on this video. That's it for today. Drop a like, comment and subscribe if you like the video, and connect with me on TikTok and Instagram with the handle @dude_blender. I'm Dude Blender. Happy blending.